Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pipes, Tobacco, and Whiskey. As you can see, my sons are not here with me today. They've had some things they had to take care of during the weekend, couldn't make it into town. So today you have just me. It's such a beautiful morning, crisp spring morning here in North Texas. And speaking of North Texas, I just wanted to remind you that the North Texas Briar Club is having a round discussion at the Tobacco Cabana on the 24th of April, which is this coming up Saturday. And we want you to send ideas of what you'd like for us to discuss. We're going to video that discussion, and that's going to be posted as one of our episodes, maybe even a couple of episodes. And we have a few people that have sent in some really good topics that we are going to add to the list of discussions, but we'd like to have more. So if you have something that you've always wanted to know about, or you have questions about anything in the pipe world or the tobacco world, please send your topics and I'll add it to the list, and we'll definitely get it on the panel to discuss. Just for those of you that live in the North Texas area, we are going to have that meeting at 1 o'clock on the 24th, and it'll be at, like I said, at the Tobacco Cabana in Cedar Hill. So if you find yourself in the area, we'd love for you to come around. The North Texas Briar Club is a group of gentlemen that just like to get together and talk about lots of different things, and there are no membership dues or anything like that, so it's open to anyone who wants to come and just enjoy the company of all of these fellow pipe smokers. So a while back I bought a sample packet from Boswell pipes. And it was brought to my attention about a month or so ago that we had not had a discussion about that English sampler packet that I bought. So I wanted to sit down and just talk a little bit about the different blends that came in that sampler packet and my thoughts are on those. Now, the sampler packet that I got back in October is a little bit different than what they sell now. They actually added another blend, which is called Military Force, in that English sampler packet. That did not come with mine. So in my packet, there were 7 different blends. Now, when you order it, you'll get 8 different blends. So I won't be talking about the Military Force, but I will be discussing all the other ones. And this is not going to be an in-depth discussion about all the different blends. I'm going to hit some highlights on each one, and then I'll give you my overall thoughts about all those blends, and I'll put them in order as to which ones I didn't like as much and maybe the ones that I liked more. So the 7 different blends in this Boswell English sampler packet is Countryside, Imperial English, Magnum blend, Mild English, Northwoods, Railroad Station, and Titus. So I've been smoking on these for 5 months now, and have been able to kind of come up with my thoughts on the ones that I like and the ones that maybe I didn't like. The English sampler is a really good way to kind of introduce all these different English blends from Boswell's. They also sell a aromatic sampler and a couple of other different samplers. So if you're not sure what to get, this is the way to go. I think you get like 1 ounce of each blend, and then you can try them all in. And 1 ounce actually is enough for me to kind of get an opinion about what all these different blends that they send. Just a kind of a heads up, I have never smoked any Boswell tobaccos except for one, and we did a review on it, that Christmas cookie, which is an aromatic a popular aromatic that they have. And if I remember rightly, it was a tasty aromatic. It was definitely very flavorful, had a lot of topping on it, but it was a pretty good smoke. So all of these I had never tried before, and so we're going into this no kind of opinion as to what I liked. Okay, so I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to start with number 7 and work my way all the way up to number 1. So my number 7 was Imperial English. Imperial English is an American English. It contains burley, Latakia, Perique, Virginias. It claims to have no flavorings. It's a mixture cut. You can get all of these blends either in bulk or you can get them in tins of 2 ounces. Of course, in the sampler part of it, you only get bulk. The strength on this is moderate. The flavoring is mild. The taste was medium. So when I smoked this Imperial English, when I think of the word imperial, I don't necessarily think of it as a royal, but I kind of go to the craft beer side of the world. And when you get the word imperial, usually you get something that's like a double dose of something, or a stronger version of something, like an Imperial IPA or an Imperial Stout or something like that. That's kind of what I was thinking when I got this. So I was thinking, man, this is going to be a nice, big, thick English blend. And actually, when I lit it up, first of all, the tin note on it, you get a lot of flavorings, a lot of topping smell to it. So definitely there was a topping present on this. The flavor was kind of a monotone flavor. It was kind of soapy. Very, very similar to a lot of Sutliff aromatic English. I don't know where Boswell sources their tobaccos, maybe from Sutliff, I don't know, but I got the impression, and I don't have any kind of evidence on this, but I got the impression that they source all their tobaccos from Sutliff, because this one had a Sutliffy kind of smell and taste to it, similar to aromatic English or Professor. This one had a touch of spice. The topping is like a licorice or anise or a plum topping. When I smoked this, that flavoring kind of coated my tongue. It burned a little hot. I did get some tongue bite. There's really not a whole lot of flavor to this one other than that soapy topping that I got. So this one was number 7 for me. It was my least favorite. And on a scale of 1 to 5, I gave it a 2. So, moving on, the next one that I had was Magnum Blend. Now, Magnum Blend contains Black Cavendish, Latakia, Virginia. It supposedly has no flavorings. It is a ribbon cut. The strength on it is moderate. The flavoring was moderate. The taste was moderate. And they categorize this as a regular English blend. It had a light vanilla note to it, and maybe a touch of alcohol, like a whiskey or something like that. It was a tad moist. I had to do quite a few relights on this one. It could be an all-day smoke. I would categorize this as a semi-aromatic English. It had a syrup note in the aftertaste on this one, especially towards the end of the smoke. There wasn't a whole lot of depth or flavor to this, not a lot of layers to it. It really never did develop. It kind of stayed the same. It was kind of a light smoke. It can get hot, and towards the end, it did get a little bit bitter. It wasn't offensive, but just wasn't a whole lot going on for me. The Latakias in this were barely noticeable. I felt like this one was more of a Virginia forward smoke. I really made it a point to try to smoke this one slow because I wanted to make sure I get all the flavors out of it. And to me, it just really didn't taste like an English. It was more of a aromatic Virginia kind of style. But that was my thought on that. On a scale of 1 to 5, I gave this a 2 plus. So it really wasn't. It was better than the Imperial English. Not a whole lot. Okay, my fifth one was Mild English. Mild English contains Burley, Cavendish, Latakia, Virginias. It says it has no flavorings. It's a coarse cut. The strength on it is mild. Flavor was mild. Taste was moderate. And it is categorized as an English blend. Again, a lot of subtle flavorings kind of coming through on this one. They call this one an introduction blend to Englishes. It's a very easy English. There was some nuttiness. It had a plummy kind of flavoring to it. There's just a hint of Latakia, slight spice in it, a little bit of bitterness. The Virginias seemed bright, and they were a little bit hot. This had more Latakia flavor in it than some of the other ones that I tasted, like Imperial and Magnum and Titus, but still tastes much like an aromatic English on this one. This one was getting to the levels of, okay, this is an all right blend. And on a scale of 1 to 5, I gave this one a 2.5. Just my thoughts on it. Okay. All right. So number 4 was Titus. Titus has Black Cavendish, Burley, Latakia, Perique, Virginias. It had no flavorings, ribbon cut. Strength on this was moderate. It says it had no flavorings. Taste was moderate. And they categorized this as an American English. Okay. So this is kind of a semi-sweet blend. The Perique helped it quite a bit, along with the Burleys. I kind of felt like that was kind of perking it up just a little bit. It could be an all-day smoke. It lacked kind of flavor depth. It has some sort of casing on it. I couldn't really put my finger on it, but it definitely had a flavoring of some sort. There was some nuttiness and some taste to it. To me, this was more of an English arrow. And again, it did have some Sutliff resemblance. Not a whole lot of Latakia in this one, but all in all, it was a pretty decent smoke. It had a slight bit of tongue bite to it. It was easy to smoke. Got a little bitter as we went down to the bottom, and the Perique got a little more spicy as we came along. On the scale of 1 to 5, I gave this one a 2.75. 2.75. So close to that 3. And a 3, when I talk about a 3, that's a blend that is, I like it. I'll smoke it. It's not going to be in my everyday rotation, but I would buy it and I would smoke it occasionally. All right, so that one was the Titus. That was number 4. Number 3 for me was Countryside. Now, Boswell tobaccos have a type of a cult following, I feel. Is people out there that just love it and swear by it, and some people that smoke it just don't like it at all, you know. Countryside is one of those tobaccos in the Boswell lineup that folks speak very highly of. So going into this, I knew that information. Had never smoked it before, but I knew that information. All right, so Countryside is an American English. an aromatic English. It has Black Cavendish, Latakia, a little bit of Oriental Turkish, and some Virginias in it. The flavorings that are listed is a liqueur kind of flavoring, and then it says other. I'm not sure what the other is. It's a ribbon cut. The strength on this was moderate. The flavoring was mild. Taste is moderate. You know, that I keep coming back to this. It has that Sutliff kind of flavor. If you've ever tried any of the Sutliff blends, particularly with Black Cavendish in it, it always has this same kind of flavor profile. I can't really put my finger on it if it's kind of a plummy flavor or if it's anise, licorice kind of flavor, but it's there on everything. I've tried East Farthing. I've tried aromatic Englishes. I've tried a lot of those Sutliff, and anything with the Black Cavendish in it, it has this flavor profile. The same goes with the Boswells. The Boswells, anything with that Black Cavendish in it, has kind of this same flavoring in it. Okay, this one is an all-day smoke. It's cooler than all of the other Boswell's Englishes that I smoked. It's kind of semi-sweet. It has a better flavor profile. By that I mean it had more layers to it than the others did. Latakia is moderate in this one. Has a ton of good reviews. If you go on tobacco reviews, you're going to see a lot of good things about this one. It can get a little bit hot, very similar to Sutliff Aromatic English. There's a slight tongue bite on this one. The black calves come out mostly on this one. It's a little too light for my taste, but I can see how there's a lot of people out there that like it, how it is a popular blend. To me, this one resembled a lot of those codger blends, but with better quality tobaccos in it. So Countryside was a pretty good one, and this one, on a scale of 1 to 5, I gave it a 3. I thought it was a pretty decent smoke. This was really the first one that I thought, okay, I could smoke this. I could buy this and smoke this one. So Countryside came in number 3. All right, number 2, and this one's a surprise. It slightly beat out Countryside, but I liked it, and it was Railroad Station. Now, it used to be called Railroad Station 965, and the 965, to me, kind of refers to that Dunhill My Mixture blend. So I think that they were going for kind of a more pure English blend on this one. This one has Black Cavendish, Latakia, and Virginias in it. This one has, it says it had no flavoring. It's a ribbon cut. Strength on this is medium, flavor none, taste medium full, and this one was categorized as a straight English. It's possible that this one had a slight topping on it. I could tell a little bit, again, with that Black Cavendish in it. It had something there. It has a nice Latakia presence in it. It's not talked about a lot. This one's kind of a hidden gem, I think, for Boswell. But to me, it was the most English of all the Boswell selections. Lots of smoke, tasty, smoky, very little sweetness, burns well. It could get a little bitter if it's smoked hard. It had a slight bit of that Sutliff essence in the taste. And it had a little bit of rough edges here and there. And it was a little bit tangy from the Orientals. But to me, this was a really solid English. I enjoyed smoking this one. This was my number 2, and on a scale of 1 to 5, I gave this a 3.5. So this was Railroad Station. And then number 1, which is probably Boswell's most acclaimed English blend, it's probably their best-selling English blend as well, was Northwoods. Northwoods has Black Cavendish, Latakia, and Virginia. It is a ribbon. It's categorized as an English. Strength on it is moderate, flavoring is mild, taste is moderate. In this blend, the Latakia was first, then the Black Cavendish by only just a little bit. There is a topping on this one. I read a lot about this one online, and I'm not sure if it was intentional, but a lot of folks compare this to Frogmorton Cellar. I don't know, if it was intended to be that way, but for sure, it's compared to that quite a bit. I think this is more of an aromatic English than it is just an English blend. There is a sweetness, kind of a vanilla-y sweetness there. It's pleasant, it's cool, definitely could be an all-day smoke. It's a favorite of many out there. Lots of good reviews on this one. It has that Sutliff kind of taste to it, but it is more subdued. There's a good amount of Latakia on this one. It's easy to smoke. There's a slight bitterness to it, but not in a bad way. It's consistent. It says it's a full-bodied and full-flavored English. More of a medium to me, because I smoke Englishes a lot. This was more towards the medium side for me. It can get a little acrid if it's pushed a little bit too hard. But I thought this one was probably the best out of all of them. So I gave Northwoods, from a scale of 1 to 5, I gave Northwoods close to a 4. It wasn't quite at a 4, but it was close to a 4. So of all of them, that one was my favorite of all of those. So again, in order, my ratings were Imperial English 7th, Magnum Blend 6th, Mild English 5th, Titus was 4th, Countryside was 3rd, but very close was number 2, Railroad Station, and then number 1 for me was Northwoods. So I hope that this kind of gives you a little bit of help as to kind of going in and getting an idea of what all those English blends from Boswell are like. Again, there is an 8th one in the sampler packet now called Military Force, but when I bought it, I guess that blend had not been out yet, so that must be a pretty new blend to Boswell's. Hadn't tried it, so I'm not sure. I can't give an opinion on it. All right, well, don't forget, guys, if you have anything that you want us to talk about in that roundtable discussion next week, please make sure that you send me that, post it underneath this video, and I will get it on the list for discussion. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for all of your input and all of your suggestions and your help. Without you guys, we would not be able to do this, so thanks a lot. Hopefully next week I'll have my sons with me at that roundtable discussion, and we'll be able to have the family back together again, giving you our thoughts and opinions about different tobaccos. Guys, thanks so much. Hope you have a great week. Don't forget, make all your piping moments count. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.